It's the only difference. You go to a store, hungry. The thought is to buy everything, right? You want everything you see. These are all your options of what you can eat. The thinker says, no, we don't need to get 5 different packs of cookies. Because you have separated the stream of a pattern of thoughts from the thinker in that very moment. You say, all these cookies the desire for cookies have taken over me because I'm hungry. I don't need chocolate chips ahoy, plus Oreo cookies, plus peanut butter cookies. That's 3 different cookies. You say, no, I don't need that. I only just need to get one. But the thought of all of it hits you. I can eat all this right now. That's the thing when they say that your eyes are bigger than your stomach. Your consciousness is spewing out more thoughts than is necessary for you to create. You follow what I'm saying? Or manifest. That's your eyes are bigger than your stomach. So when the thinker separates himself from the thoughts, that's when you become God awakening. Because God chooses, God creates. God is not the byproduct of patterns that have been streaming on this earth from the beginning of time. What do I mean? There are energy fields on this plane that we can affect or be affected by. Every atmosphere has an aura and an energy and a vibration of its own. And if you walk into the aura, energy, and vibration of that atmosphere, you will receive thoughts. Many people are at a reactionary level of thought fields in atmospheres. This is where they exist at. They go into rooms. Energy fields are already there. Matter is living. All matter has thoughts and stored thoughts. If I told you that even these shades store thought, everything in the universe stores information and memory. Everything. So that means these glasses are storing thought and consciousness. Everything in the material world stores memory and consciousness. When we go into the fields of these material realms, when we go into them, then we pick up on the thoughts. This planet had a thought before we got here. And we can either come with the dynamic energy to move the thoughts along, to stir them up and move them in the direction of what we're creating, or we can be open to the thoughts that are already here. There were thoughts already here about what black people are. Watch this. And they were just spewing out in the universe as patterns. Black people are this, black people are that, and black people are that. And many people owned it. Right? Black people are Negroes, black people are this, black people are that. They're trying to be this, black people are that. And then consciousness manifested on this planet and said, black supremacy. Black people are supreme. That means it ascended beyond the field of old collective thought energy just traveling in the universe about who we are. Many don't go beyond that. They just go and accept it. They read the history books and they just deal with the field of old thoughts and old information, the ideas of dead Europeans. That's just traveling around. Thoughts of George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and all that shit is just stuck on this earth. This energy. And they incarnate on the planet and they just open to the psychic field of what's there. And then when a God is born, that's an entity that is not limited to the psychic field of this plane. That's one that can come here and create. That ascends beyond the density and the limited amount of thoughts that are circulating. And then creates a new perception. You understand what I'm saying? That is what God consciousness is. That which can give birth to new perception on the material world. We think God is a being that is somewhere in the sky sitting on a planet on a throne. We think God is some entity that existed somehow at the beginning of the time and has disappeared to the end. Right? We don't realize God is just that which gives birth to new perception. The Creator. But if everything was already there in the universe, what the hell did God create? A new perception of it. I'm going heavy now. Everything was already there. Because God is all, right? Is he? So what did he create if he is everything? He had to create something that was non-material. Perception. He created a different perception of everything. And here we are. You follow? Because even though the whole material universe is complete, it can still be perceived in 1 trillion billion infinite different ways. The creator is that which perceives everything differently. Wood was already there. Perceive it differently as a table. Perceive it differently as a door. Perceive it differently as a pencil. And it goes on forever. But there's no more or less material in the universe. The all is complete. All is all. There will never be no more all or in the all. But you know what? It's constantly being perceived differently and perceiving itself differently. Because while the realm of material is solid, and this is the paradox, the realm of material is solid, complete and full. The realm of perception is infinite. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? That means that while this room appears to be completely and absolutely totally what it is, we can come up with billions of different perceptions of it and experience it in 1 billion different ways. You follow what I'm saying? So while the room is completely something solid, our perception is the realm of infinity that overlays the material world. Y'all follow what I'm saying? Matter is already there, already solid. But matter doesn't experience itself. Consciousness experiences matter. Matter experiences itself through consciousness. Matter, the material world, is self-conscious through the mind of man and woman. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? We are how matter becomes conscious of itself. Without us, matter would not even matter. I'm going heavy with this. So the God at the beginning of the universe was the great perceiver. When is the beginning of a universe? When is the beginning of the universe? Somebody want to answer that for me? When is the beginning of the universe? Let me show you. The material have always been because it existed in God, which is all and everything, omnipotent, right? Omnipotent, omnipresent. So the material has always been, but it began when it was perceived. Because that's when it became something. You follow? It was just all. When we look out to these obstacles, all is all. Till we begin to start making things something. Defining them, adding definition. Not adding real definition in the sense of making things, but adding definition in our perception of it. Differentiating things. Making distinctions. Coming up with mythologies. Imaginations, you follow what I'm saying? Hallucinations, projections. So now, no thing or everything becomes many things. We are beginning the universe now with what we perceive. If I perceive a threat, that is the beginning of an experience of fear, right? If I perceive love, that is the beginning of the experience of joy for me. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? If I'll give you an easy one. If I perceive things as gloomy, That is the beginning of the experience of sadness for me. Did sadness exist before I saw gloom? Did it? Did sadness exist before I perceived negativity? No. That was its beginning for me. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Because if I had to perceive something else, then happiness would have began for me. You follow what I'm saying? That would have been the beginning of happiness, the beginning of sadness, the beginning of joy, the beginning of excitement. When did it begin? It began at the moment that I perceived and defined things. It was not in my universe beforehand. So then if it wasn't in my universe, which is the universe, I can assume that it didn't even exist. So we define and add dimension and emotion to the universe. When you break down the word emotion, we put energy into motion. That's emotions. It's all here, but the emotion is the energy that puts it into motion. Puts it into motion. Whether it's sadness, happiness, love, peace, all of these things exist. That is the beginning of our universe. What am I saying? We are the perceivers. There is a material world. The space, the material that can be constructed to become any type of experience. All the material that we need can be constructed to have any experience that we decide to have. But it is void. I'm going heavy. It is void until we perceive it. Then when we perceive it, all the material we need to have that particular experience is available. Without our perception, has no meaning. When I say meaning, because people ask, well, what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? When I say meaning, I mean that which colors it. Not meaning in the sense of Webster's dictionary. But meaning can be what you feel. We don't realize that feeling is meaning. We ask you, well, what does that mean to you? I love it. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning is not always literate, scholastic definition. Meaning that just in the left brain or in only one dimension of the brain. Meaning could be how the feeling that you have from something in a sense of sentimental. Things have sentimental value, right? What does it mean? It's sentimental. You don't go to the dictionary to find out what your baby pictures mean. I'm going happy. So the purpose of life, the meaning, fits as well into the context of emotion, of what you feel. That means a whole overall conceptualization of things, not just in the sense of intellect. So we add meaning to things and to say, I like this, I don't like that. I feel this way about this, I feel that way about that. All that is meaning. Because since I feel that way about that, that means I don't want to experience that. And if I feel happy about this thing, that means I do want to experience that. So we create the meaning to all the material aspects of the universe. We give meaning to it. That's power. As conscious entities, we give meaning without looking for meaning. Those looking for meaning believe in a mystery God. Those who give meaning are in the driver's seat of their ship. You follow what I'm saying? Some of us are looking for meaning. What does this mean? It's 2012. What does this going to mean? The book of Revelation, what does it all mean? 144,000. What does it all mean? Some of us are searching for meaning. Some of us are coming to know who we are and why we are here, what we feel, what we want to create, and we're giving meaning.